Pledge of Allegiance in public schools doesn't discriminate against atheists, court says. Gee, do you think maybe the guys in the court are, I don't know. The Supreme Judicial Court of Massachusetts ruled Friday that reciting the Pledge of Allegiance in public schools does not discriminate against atheists, despite containing the words "under God." According to the AP, the court ruled in Doe versus Acton-Boxborough Regional School District that the phrase "under God" reflects a patriotic practice and is not necessarily religious. Although the words "under God" undeniably have a religious tinge, courts that have considered the history of the pledge and the presence of those words have consistently concluded that the pledge, notwithstanding its reference to God, is a fundamentally patriotic exercise, not a religious one, the court's ruling said. The court also noted that saying the pledge is voluntary. Scrolling down, all students are treated alike. They are free if they choose to recite the pledge or any part of it that they see fit. They are entirely free as well to choose to abstain, the court's ruling said. No one is required to say all or even part of it, and significantly no student who abstains from reciting the pledge or any part of it is required to articulate a reason for his or her choice to do so. The AP reports. An atheist family from Acton sued in 2010, claiming that the daily recitation of the pledge in classrooms violated their three children's First Amendment rights. The family, who are not identified in the suit, said the ruling insinuates that non-believers are less patriotic. Yeah. A lower court judge last year ruled that "under God" did not violate the school's anti-discriminatory policy or state law. The family appealed. The decision only applies to Massachusetts because the pledge language is defined by federal law. So, once again, the rights of atheists mean nothing in this country. Oh, we can decide not to say the pledge if we don't want to, and nothing bad will happen to us. Let's see, if I was in school and I didn't say the pledge, nothing bad would happen to me? What about the girl who didn't say the pledge in the basketball game, who got kicked out of off the team? And I believe she was expelled from the school too. You know, some of us are patriotic and some of us want to say the pledge because we are proud Americans and we want to say the pledge, but the pledge sticks in our craw when we get to the "under God" part because we find that term offensive. It is offensive to us. And we also think that a public school that makes the kids say "under God," it's like it's endorsing to little kids that there's a God or that this nation is a Christian nation. And I'm sorry, that's a lie that has been perpetuated enough. And I think it needs to stop. I think this whole thing needs to stop. I think atheists need to, not just atheists, but anybody who knows that the God in this reference, "under God," is the Christian God. It isn't Allah. It isn't the Hindu God. It's the Christian God. Everybody knows it. So when you're saying "under God," you know that, oh, well, that could be anybody's God. No, it's the Christian God. And it's the Christian whatever that we're pledging to. And I'm sorry, but when I pledge to my country, I want to pledge to my country separation of church and state. There should not be anything about God in the Pledge of Allegiance that is supposed to represent and stand for all proud Americans. We all have the right to we want to say the pledge. It's our right as Americans to say the pledge and not feel uncomfortable saying the pledge. And no, it should not be on our money either. Our money stands for us, for America. And I'm sorry, but America is not just Christians. And that money needs to stand for what America help us. The public prayer debate. Here we go again. On Monday, a narrowly divided Supreme Court upheld decidedly Christian prayers at the state of local council meetings, declaring them in line with long national traditions. The court said in a 5-4 decision that the content of the prayers is not significant as long as they do not denigrate non-Christians or try to win converts. Interestingly, the Obama administration backed the winning side, the town of Greece, New York, outside of Rochester. It's time to fight back. It's time that atheists and people who are tired of God standing for Christianity in this country fight back. It's time that we sign petitions and we protest. And I don't know, I was thinking this morning, let's all just not pay our taxes, you know? Of course, then we'd all be in jail. Or would they be able to jail all of us? I'm sorry, but it's our country too. We should be able to say the Pledge of Allegiance without feeling sick in our stomach. We should be able to look at our money and not have that ugly "in God we trust" on our fucking money. Pardon my French. Imagine it. You know, you're at this council or whatever, and they have this prayer that they do before this thing starts. Oh, it's tradition. It has nothing to do with religion. There's very little actual praying. It's just lip service, but we want to do it because it's tradition. The Christians get their way. And who gets to sit there and... Here we go again. Well, this is going on. All the people who don't believe and think it's offensive, the people who are offended by it, that's who. And that's what we've been doing all this time. That's what atheists have had to do all this time already. We have to put up with it. We're expected to put up with it. It's tradition, yes. And why is it tradition? Because Christians have gotten their way for all this time. And now what are they going to do? They're going to say, well, it's tradition now. You can't change it because it's tradition. We get to have our way more. Yay! And then they're saying about the whole, oh, you don't have to say the pledge if you don't want to say the pledge. And then you're branded unpatriotic for not saying the pledge. Or if you're in school and you're not saying the pledge, you get kicked off of basketball teams. You know, like there was a girl that got kicked off. I think she was actually expelled from her school for not saying a prayer before the start of a game. Or you're just, you know, ostracized by other kids. Oh, you're not a real American. You're not patriotic. You're a communist, or whatever the fuck they say. You know, like, kids really need that in an environment where they're trying to fit in. That's the last thing they need. Just nobody wants to stand out as being different. And yet, the Pledge of Allegiance causes division amongst Americans because it doesn't stand for all of us. And some people don't want to say it because under God is in the pledge and it doesn't stand for all Americans. And I'm sorry, it needs to stand for all Americans. No American should feel uncomfortable saying the pledge, of standing up and being proud of their country and saying the pledge. No American should be made to feel that way. And I'm sorry, but under God needs to be stripped from the pledge. It never should have been put in there in the first place. And this "in God we trust" bullshit, that should never have been put on our money in the first place. So, what do? I think we need to fight back. I'm putting together this silly little petition. I highly doubt it's going to make a difference. But I think every one of us needs to do what we can to fight against this. This is seriously important because little kids see this bullshit on our money and they see adults saying "under God" in our pledge. And you know what? It affirms to them that this thing exists, and that which is wonderful for the agenda of Christianity. But it is not so wonderful for people who find the God and the religion offensive, and the damage that it causes to our society and the world a really bad thing. So, anyway, just my thoughts on this whole thing. It seems to me that Christianity is fighting back hard, and I think atheists needs to fight back even harder. I think, you know, this whole idea, well, under God, or what is it? Yeah, under God doesn't discriminate. I think that's, yeah. I think I'm trying to remember the article. I don't have it in front of me. It doesn't discriminate against atheists. Oh, really? And you're an atheist. I want to know how many atheists made this decision. Who came to this decision. We need to fight back. That's all. Thanks. Bye.